Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today I'm trying to set up, play and review the game Kingdomino Duel. Now I've played Kingdomino, I played it before it was nominated for Spiel des Jahres and then go on to win it. I've played Queendomino, I've played Age of Giants. I haven't done a video for Age of Giants yet, but I've had that 5 years. This is a roll and write game. I do have a playlist for roll and write games. I have a playlist for how to set up, play and review. I have a Bruno Cathala playlist, who is the designer of this game. And there's also another designer as well called Ludwig Malblanc. It's still by Cyril Bouquet for the art, if I've pronounced that correctly, hopefully. And in this game, yes, you are dueling. You're looking to race and potentially be the first person to get these various different symbols. I'll explain that in a moment, but let me tell you a bit more about this game. So, in the history of Kingdomino and Kingdomino Duel, etc., I have actually played the combined variants of Kingdomino and Queendomino as a 3, a 4, a 5, 6, 7, and 8 player game. I've also played Kingdomino as a larger map as a 2, and I've played Queendomino as a larger map as a 2. I haven't played Kingdomino and Queendomino combined as a 2. That's 11 by 11, so pretty big. So if you're familiar with other games, please do check out my playlist for obviously checking out that game, such as Kingdomino. In this game, you're going to have a pad and you have a piece of paper each. So a piece of paper is going to look like this. As you can see, we've been filling them in, and I'll explain those in a second. So you can have one of these sheets each. So give one person to your opponent, one to yourself, and someone is going to roll the dice. You're going to roll the dice, and the aim of the game is similar to Kingdomino. You're trying to get various different of these terrains, these different regions, these different realms, and trying to get these, as many as you can of them, with a multiplier being these X's, which the minute hasn't been rolled. So right now, let's say I take this one. It's snake drafting, so the opponent will take 2. Let's say they take those 2, and then I take this one. Now, it's in my interest to take this one because you want lots of one type. So let's say they were nice and they did that. I'll explain why they might want to do that in a second. Now, because they don't have any X's on them, I'll explain how that works in a second. The way it works is you're going to have another piece of paper. So a third piece of paper is going to be something you're both sharing. So you're going to write your name on here, up the top, and then you're going to put an X in for anything that does not have an X on here. I'll explain how that works in a second. So right now, all you need to be aware of is if you take a die, regardless of what it is, it's safe for time being, you're taking a die and you're going to mark on an X in this location for this one, for this dot, and one in location for this little single line here. If you're the first person to reach the end point, remember that's why you're taking dice in turn, then what's going to happen is you unlock this bonus. This bonus means that you can play your various kingdom pieces any way you like. So right now you must start from the castle, and I can do this. But what I can't do on a future turn is put this die, let's say, here, because as you can see, it's not matching. So it's got to probably start some other part of the castle going outwards until you may run out of spaces, which is unusual. Okay, so that's what that first one does if you're the first to reach there. This one means you can split them up, so I could place this one here, and that one doesn't have to be next to it. It could be over here if it wants to be. Maybe you've got others you've already built. Over down to this one, what this one lets you do is when it's your turn to roll, or whoever's turn it is to roll, you can go, actually, do you know what, right away, I'm going to just take, I don't know, this one and that one, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but take those two. Why? Because maybe you're closer to trying to complete one of these ones. Coming down to the fourth one, double stripes. So what this means is you can take one of the dice and you can just turn it on that particular die to whichever side you want. You can't take any value, but you can take it to the side that you want it to be on. The reason being is obviously there are different combinations on different things. As you can see, this double stripe doesn't have an X on this one, but it does on this one. The final two, what do these two represent? Well, this one is an instant bonus or an instant thing for the end of the game trigger. So in this case, it's saying, right, for each individual domain where you've got, and you're going to write on here, you're going to draw 2 stripy lines, whatever you want to pick, then it's going to score 3 points for each. So if that was connected, you're only just going to score yourself 3 points. But if you have one over here, that's worth 6. If you have another one, that's worth 9, etc. So you're trying to make sure if you've got things which are a bit disparate, you're going to choose something right there and then and mark it on there, maybe a little X on here to say this is the one scoring you 3, and score up points at the end. Finally, this one. So if you've got the checkered flag, got the checker thing going on, the way that works is a bit different, and you'll just have to bear with me a second. If you want to pick something like that, it's slightly different again, and it is something to be aware of. It's all to do with these various combinations. So it does let you pick a coat of arms and basically add a single cross to it. So right now you might have, I don't know, this one in here happened to be double dots. You put an extra cross in there because you might not have any X's at all. You've got loads of these single dots or loads of these types of, I don't know, coat of arms. But if you haven't got a single X, it's going to score nothing because it'll be 6 times 0. So trying to get a combination of blank ones and obviously the crossed ones, or ideally those are crossed ones, and I'll show an example afterwards. So that's how the game goes. You go until somebody obviously can't put anything in. You need to completely fill up the grid. So as you can see, two for it, they can do all these ones. Then you could go here, 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 etc., and work your way around. So there's lots of different ways of doing it. Now, let's move on to showing you some final maps, and hopefully that'll help to gel it all together. So over here, what we've got here, so somebody's gone outwards and they've rolled maybe these two. And obviously then they've rolled something again, maybe they've got the same thing again, or they managed to pick the same thing again, and then they happen to roll a dot and a single, so they've gone this direction, of course it's around the castle, and now they've got, what else? Well, they couldn't have put this one here, so maybe they've had to go here and here, and then they rolled those two, or these two, so they've gone here and here, and somehow or another they've managed to get that one in there. Maybe it's a case that they can place anything they want. So in terms of scoring, we've got 3 points here, because what they're getting is, it's obviously this coat of arms is all by itself, so it's times by the x's, there's nothing here. We've got 3 here, so it's 1, 2, 3, times by the 1, so it's worth 3 points. That's worth nothing, and that's why it's got 3 points. We have 80 points here because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I've got more over here. Oh, actually, no, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's count this again. 1, 2, this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's why 15. And then somehow they've made it 15 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should actually be 60. I think they've put that in wrong, maybe, or 75. So I better show you my one. So let's see how mine scores. So I got 0 for dots because it had nothing here. Over here I got 0 as well because I got single lines, which were not scoring me anything. Double dots, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times by 1, 2, 3. So that one is obviously going to score me 27 points. Over here I've got 90 because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's one 9th one somewhere. And then over here, obviously nothing for checks. So that's why that's got nothing. I managed to get this bonus, which happened to be, when I flip it over to the right side, you can see I completed this bonus here. So this one allows me to actually score something for 3 points. I chose this line here. So I score 1 realm here. So that's worth 3 points. And then another one over here, that's 2. So that would give me the 6 points. So that's basically how the game works. What do I think of the game? My rating is 7.777, and the reason why that is it's very enjoyable. It's obviously that race mechanic element, race mechanism. It's there's a very little downtime. Obviously, you're trying to calculate and figure out where you're putting stuff. Something to bear in mind though is it's difficult to remember who's been first player, and it's also very easy initially to forget that when you take a die like this one, you find you're marking an X on, but when it's not got X on it, you're marking on here. So that means you're always marking an X on. You're marking an X on obviously your kingdom, and here you're marking on your scroll, I guess it's called. No, I enjoy this very much. Like I said, it's a keeper for now. I know the purchaser was like, no, I think that's going in the sell pile, but a bit more life in it, I think. And I look forward to telling you about that dice distancing video. So if you want a daily video in 4K for the last 3 years and keep watching more, you can support the channel via Patreon. You can also go ahead and go to Instagram and follow over there, over 2,400 posts. Also, if you go to Facebook, please like there. And via Patreon, you can support the channel, and Linktree, there are occasionally competitions and giveaways. Aside from that, again, there's those playlists that I did mention, and for dice distancing, there's a dice distancing video, and this will be number 61, I believe. So if you're interested in that, please let me know your thoughts. It only takes half an hour. It's bang on taking half an hour. So I am quite impressed with that, and the rules are straightforward. So that's all for Kingdomino Duel. All the best, and back to the table.